Before I start, as you mentioned, Dr. Tiruz Waja is here. So I offer my profound gratitude and regards to sir.
Sure.
I've been his student and we have been very good friends. It is his, generosity that he considers students as friends.
Great.
So he's present today, so it's going to be a good session, I guess.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
sir, for joining
So-
us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deepak Mashru, and all the best. I'm proud of you. Go ahead.
So, welcome one and all to today's first session of 2021 to GG Ahmedabad and GG Pune session of crowdsourcing with Google. We are glad to have Dr. Deepak Mashru, the mentor for today, who is going to take us to the journey of what is crowdsourcing with Google. So, I take this opportunity to welcome one and all and welcome Dr. Deepak Mashru. And I would request Deepak sir to kindly introduce himself with the audience. And we start today's session from now.
Okay. Good evening to everyone, and once again, Happy New Year. Because looking at 2020, we need to have twice happiness to set the account of 2020. So I wish that this 2021 would be the best year of your life. If I talk about myself, I'm Dr. Deepak Mashru. I deal with English language. I work with Marwari University, which is one of the reputed universities of Rajkot, Gujarat. I've been working there for the last 8 years. If I go on and on about my introduction, that would take time. But I remembered one instance, when I had been invited to Rajkumar College, and I was asked to give a brief bio. So it was of 1 page. So Mr. Das, vice principal, he smiled at me and said, "Sir, anything shorter that we can mention?" I said, "Sir, you can mention 1 line." That is, I am a passionate teacher by choice.
Great,
I'm a passionate teacher by choice. So I wanted to be a teacher, and I am a teacher. So
Great.
This is what I can tell about myself. Otherwise, we talk about Google Educators Group, we talk about Google Crowdsource. You can Google about me. There's a lot Google has to tell me about, right? So I guess
we all are a group of passionate educators, sir. This is a group of passionate educators. All educators today who have joined us are basically educators by choice, and they are really working very well in their own respective fields. And this is how we all are connected with each other.
Right.
Really glad to have you today, Deepak sir, for this session. You may please continue with the session as you have planned. We have 32 and more members are joining, so I'll be managing the things in the background.
No problem, sir. No problem. Okay. Before I start talking about today's session, I would like to mention that we may have found lots of people on social media platforms mocking around us that when there is a wrong translation or faulty translation, people highlight it and people try to mock about it. When we try to add something in terms of location and we find wrong location, we curse Google. And these things happen. But thing is that at many point of time, it happens that when your translation is proved true, when your work has been sufficed, you found a very good, whatever meaning you wanted to find from the Google, you could find it. You never say thank you to Google, right? So this is a human tendency. Now, the more important thing is when I was looking at it, I could find that what is the reason behind it, what is the logic behind it, that why it happens. So I tried to dig out information. I could find that it is Google. Google is it is a kind of server. It is a machine, and machine does not know everything. So whatever data that we find on Google, that has been fed by somebody else. It is not Google's own data, right? So what we need to do is we need to find out that how it happens. So there is a beautiful saying in computer. Dr. Varia would agree to me that that is called GIGO. That is garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
So
old definition.
Very old definition of an early 2000 in the late 90s, rather we can say, when Rajkot was blessed with first BCA batch. I was talking about 98, 99.
True.
So GIGO is there. So thing is that when we expect the accurate data from Google, it is the responsibility of we people to feed accurate data. So this is the platform that is called Google Crowdsource, right? I can correlate this crowdsource word with another platform which is very popular in India, that is called mygov.in. If you can find mygov.in, you can find a lot of things, where government of India has gone for citizen engagement, where you can share whatever idea you have, right? If you want to participate in designing any logo, or if you want to go for a punchline, or if you want to suggest anything for budget or X or Y or Z, it goes there. Now thing is that similar to that, Google crowdsource means where there is an engagement of citizen, where there is an engagement of user, right? So this is the basic principle. Now if I move to the next slide, this is what Dr. Varia mentioned in the Google Meet invite, that these are the 5 things that we want to discuss today in the session. One is what is crowdsourcing, right? This is something I discussed about what is crowdsourcing, how Google is conducting crowdsourcing. I'm going to talk about that thing. Then how we as an individual can contribute or get benefit from crowdsourcing, right? Fourth one is what are the types and levels of crowdsourcing that we'll talk about. And then last one is why should one support crowdsourcing, right? So these are the 5 things we are going to discuss today in this session. Right. Okay. So I think I'll take somewhere around 30 minutes time, and then whatever doubts, questions, queries we have, right, I'll be trying to resolve those things. Meanwhile, if you have any question or query at any point of time, if you wish, you can pose, and you can pose me, and you can raise the query. I'll try to resolve your queries at that point of time if need be. Else, we'll try to cover later on.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay. I guess somebody raised hand.
Yes, Dr. Narshid. Dr. Narshid, you wish to say anything?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr.
Good
Varia.
evening,
Yeah,
Good evening, ma'am.
I was trying to do away with some tab, and this happened. I'm so sorry.
No problem. Okay. Welcome, ma'am. I'm glad to have you today.
Yes, sir. All the pleasure's all mine.
Same here. Same here.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we start with the first point, that is what is crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is taking or getting the engagement of users or citizens, right? So when we as a Google users, when we contribute in terms of validating data or feeding data, that is called crowdsourcing. This is a very broad term in a way we can say, right? Second thing is how Google is conducting crowdsourcing. Google has got 2 platforms. One is Android platform, second is web platform, where we can go and we can download application. If you are using Android phone, Google Crowdsource, if you type in the Play Store, you will find that, and with your authorized Gmail ID, you can connect with that and you can start contributing in different forms. Which are the forms? We are going to talk about that thing, right? And then as an individual, right, this is the way. If you're using iPhone or some other platforms, in that way you can use their URL, that is web URL, that you can use it, and in that way you can contribute, and Google is having these 2 major sources with which Google accept the data validation and data feeding. Now, if we talk about the third point, how we as an individual can contribute or benefit from crowdsourcing. See, I tell you that this is the very common thing that I used to tell my students in classroom is this is the era of collaboration, not competition. Now, thing is that when we expect something, right? So in that way, we need to give something in that way. Whatever you give, that you get. So it is a 360-degree, things that goes, right? So here, why we should do it? Because we look forward to this kind of thing, right? So when we look forward to getting certain, getting certain information in terms of whatever data that we need to go for. In that way, it is our duty, moral duty, to feed the data in the same way. This is what the thing is. This is kind of, yeah, sharing is caring. Yes, Amit ji, the same way, right? Google is not going to pay or is not paying anything. This is a non-financial thing that we do over here. But at the same time, when you reach to certain levels, that will definitely help you to build your network. And I tell you that it was the time when people believe in hard work, and then people started believing in smart work. Now it is network, right? That works. So whatever smart work, hard work you have, without network, you cannot go ahead. I tell you that it has been only 3 months time, and I could find that people from different countries, they connected with me. So I am a part of Google Crowdsource Brazil. I'm a part of Google Crowdsource Malaysia. I'm the part of Google Crowdsource Indonesia. Now the people of the same level. The way everybody agreed in the beginning that we people are all of same kind of mindset, right? That we people are passionate about our profession and we want to give something, right? See, before 2020, teaching was a very secret profession. Within the four walls, nobody knew that what is happening. Now, because of this COVID, because of this online, things are being recorded. So now people understand that they can come back and they can go for it. So over there, it is as our duty as a teacher to cater to students something where they can find something more than syllabus. I tell you that once it was there in my my university, people were talking about should we introduce open book exam or not. Right now, thing is that we can. I tell you that if you cannot restrict students, you cannot restrict people to use Google. Right? We were the last generation to pass our exams without Google. Now, thing is that when I teach in the class, my students can validate the same thing by validating with Google, and they search it and then they tell me this is the latest data. So we need to be updated in that way, right? So here we can get the benefit in that way also. Okay. Now, what types of levels? Now I'll just start the presentation, right? Which is there that we have received from I have received from Google as an influencer, right? To share with the people. So I'll walk through that presentation, walk you through people to presentation, and whatever doubts, questions, queries, or inputs we'll have discussion, we have sharing on that. This is Google's mission: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Right? So this is their mission. So in that way, if you look at the things that whatever we want, we need to give. So it's a give and take, care and share and care, whatever is mentioned. So based on this mission, Google has come up with an idea of crowdsourcing, right? Okay. Now there are two terminologies I would like to mention, right? The people who are not from computer background, they might not know about it, but I must tell you that there are two words called AI and ML. AI stands for artificial intelligence and ML stands for machine learning. If I explain you in a very basic terminology, I don't know the mass who is there and what is the background of the people, but I can tell you that when there is a kid in the house, right, the baby is born, in that way that baby needs takes some time to learn the language, to learn the ideology, to learn the culture of that family, right? The same is the case with machine. So when there is a machine, we want that machine to behave like a human being. In that way, we need to feed that machine, right, with different aspects, with different cultures. This is what we call artificial intelligence and machine learning. That machine learns. For example, I tell you that if I show you a picture of a car, you will find you will tell me car. I can show you any type of car, even the image of a car or a picture from the cartoon, right, a car, you will tell that this is a car because our mind is trained, our brain is trained to identify a car in any form, whether whatever the object is. Now the machine is not used to. So if there are more than 16,000 types of cars, right? Even when the Google understands this at that point of time, when you search a car, you will get to know about the car, right? This is what the thing is. So I would like to show you one video of 2 minutes and 20 seconds, right? To get the clear idea about what I'm going to talk about. This video is of Google. So just give me a minute, I'll just share that.
You've heard of machine learning, but what is it? Machine learning is a technique that allows computers to acquire skills by looking at several examples, instead of through sets of rules. Machine learning makes it easier for you to do things every day, like searching for photos of what you love, speaking to anyone in any language, and getting you exactly where you want to go, anywhere in the world. So how do machines learn? In machine learning, computers find, identify, and learn common patterns through sets of data. For example, showing a computer many images of cars teaches it how to recognize a car in any picture. The more variety of car images we show it, the better it gets at recognition. That's why your contributions to the Crowdsource app are important. They help create and verify accurate examples for computers to learn, which in turn enables features that benefit everyone. When you verify image labels, you help apps like Google Photos and Google Lens get better at classifying photos and identifying objects. When you label the sentiment of sentences, you help Google Maps and Google Play organize reviews in your language. When you verify translations, you help Google Translate make more accurate translations in your language. So your favorite apps get better for everyone, thanks to you. As part of the global crowdsource community, you're joining contributors in your country and throughout the world to contribute millions of examples. Your responses are combined with thousands of other users' answers to determine a best response, which is called ground truth. The ground truth is fed to machine learning models that find patterns to learn specific skills, such as how to identify cars in a photo, or how to translate from one language to another. What a machine learns is limited by the data it's given. If we develop an image recognition algorithm with images from only a small part of the world, it will only recognize objects from that part of the world. In order for apps like Photos to work well for everyone, we must train machines using images from every part of the world. By using Crowdsource, you're representing your region, language, and opinions in training data. Thank you for being a part of the community.
That was a brilliant presentation, sir. We got to learn more about it.
Okay, so let's come back to the point. Again, I'll go for the presentation, continue that one. By the time somebody, Vajay sir, if you can see somebody has raised hand, is it by mistake or has a query?
Sir, you may please continue.
Okay, fine, no issue. Okay, now, so this is what AI is. Fine. Now, when we travel to other country, or when we look at the material or any image of different language, Google Lens help us to translate into our language, right? So how can this happen? Because there are people right? Those who are contributors, right? They, from the backside, they validate the data, they go for the translation, and they help Google to strengthen and help Google so that Google can help in return to the society. This is what is happening. It's a simple example. If you look at the, if you search in Google, see, I have heard lots of people that in this century, this time, when the information is found in abundance, right? We have lots of information here. Teachers' role has been changed as a facilitator. That we need to, train students to find out the most appropriate information from the ocean of information. When you Google something, you will find lots of things, right? There will be more than 200 pages of the same thing. But thing is that what exactly do we need from that, right? So one day it will come that because of the contribution of the people, right, of the users, we will be able to find only 10 results which are very accurate. Right? It is not the Google's feature that we are getting 200 images or 200 things. Thing is that Google is not clear that okay, this is what exactly you are looking for, right? That's why Google is giving you lots of other information that we need to find out. Okay, so for example, when you search from Google a picture of a bride, you will find 10,000 different images, right? But it may not be the one that you're looking for. That's why this validation is required. So country-wise, you will find different images from the a different part of the world. You will find, for example, if somebody searches from India, you will find such kind of image. If somebody searches from a different part of the world, for example, from England, right, or from USA, people will find such kind of image. Right. So this is what the thing is. Google has now got the data, but there must be somebody to validate it, and this is what crowdsourcing does actually. So Pancake, if you look at this, there will be different types of. Now, if you look at the paneer, I guess it's a dinner time, so this might help you to water your mouth. But thing is that the paneer, if you look at this, right? So there are different types of paneer. Right, different images of paneer you will find. Now Google Crowdsource does one thing, that is to identify images of paneer, and it helps you to to tag or to label it under the category, so that when people search next time, they can have accurate searches and accurate information for which they are looking for. This might surprise you, right? There are 9 million number of images in open images in data set of Google. But thing is that with this abundant data, we look forward to accurate thing. Now it is about accurating. It's about narrowing down to the need one, right? So we don't look for many things. We look for the only one thing that we want, and that can help us. Okay. Now if you look at the contribution level, you will be more surprised. Only 3% of those images are from India and China. That means there are the very less images that we find. That's why you don't find things which is around you. When you search on Google, right, certain things, you will not find things around you, right? Why? Because there are less images uploaded, there are less images validated, and that is the problem that we find. And looking at the population of India plus China, half of the world is covered, and still we have only 3% contribution from these two countries, and that demands definitely to pull our sleeves and help Google to help us impact. Now, what Google suggests, or what Google has come to the conclusion or solution, right? To solve this problem, we will need to get millions of images from all around the world to train the machine learning models, right? This is very interesting subject. I have experimented with 3 different Google voice assistant applications where one can learn English literature, one can learn English grammar, one can learn business communication by improving their listening and speaking skills. So there are ways of integrating data right over there. So here, if we contribute by by training machine learning, right, Google machine learning, in that way we'll be able to find out accurate data. Another interesting and delicious example, I would say, we can help train ML data. ML data stands for machine learning data. For example, each one of these is a different type of dosa, right? I wish that you could take any one, if whatever the flavor that you wanted to, but this is an image, so we can see only, right? Now this is an example of dosa. If you go to the next example, next image, this is also dosa. The thing is that we understand, right? We can connect with that, right? Because we have consumed that material, we have eaten that, we have we had enjoyed that delicious dosa place, right? That's why. But thing is that machine does not understand. So we need to find out that when there are 10,000 different types of images of dosa, where dosa can be there in the center or it can be in one corner, we need to identify that, okay, this is the image of dosa, so that whenever I search next time, it can pop up differently, and I can get my job done very quickly. So this is the reason why they are exemplified with this example. Another thing for information, if we, as a teacher, if you want to go for any good source, a quality source, we can find Wikipedia. But Wikipedia, you will find that there are lots of languages available, but you cannot get your job done. For example, you will find most of the information available in English, right? Very few would be there in regional national languages. But if you go for Gujarati, if you go for Sanskrit, if you go for Hindi, you will find very less information. Why? Because the people's contribution is less in that way, because it's an open source. Crowdsource is equal to open source, where anybody can update, anybody can edit, right? There is a very good network over there where people, there are observers, there are contributors, there are moderators. They keep on watching the new pages, the updates, and they validate it, right? So it's another example. But thing is that language wise, I'm going to show you next 2-3 slides. You will be amazed to see those slides, that how patriotism can be connected with Google crowdsourcing, right? I'm going to talk about that thing. Before that, I'd like to share that if you look at this, there will be different type of people with different type of expressions, right? For example, if you love scuba diving in that way, if you look at the place or image of scuba diving, you will say, wow, right? But the person who does not like it, that person would say that, oh my God, I'm very afraid of it. It's a very scary place, right? So there are different types of emotions attached to that. Even if we look at this Google, what we call it, Google feedback, right? They when go for ratings and give feedback. So there are people who write in sarcastic manner, right? So thing is that we need to understand, Google does not understand that it has been written in a sarcastic way. We need to validate it in the terms of mood, whether it is positive, negative, or neutral, right? So Google is bifurcating data, analyzing data up to that level, so that it can help you in a better way. Next, our question, does the why crowdsource? We'll go for it. This will even clear your doubts regarding the labels and different types, how we can go for it. Okay, as I mentioned you earlier, that Google crowdsource, there can be Android and web apps with which we can answer the questions. There are the few screenshots you can find, right, for image label verification, sentiment evaluation, handwriting recognition, right? Translation is there. So how it works, you can find. And if you look at the third screenshot, you'll find achievement. There are levels. There are total 18 levels. And when you reach to the 10th level, cross 10th level, right, you get invitation to attend influencers meeting, and which is conducted by Google, and there are different influencers. They contribute, they talk about their stories, and you're invited to propose your interest as an influencer. And after the verification, and when they need be that they feel that okay, this person can be an influencer, they offer and they accept the invitation as an influencer, and they give you this different task to motivate, to encourage people to do so. If you look at this fourth image, achievements, so there are contributors, different levels: photography, right, street smart, scribe, sentiment, right. There are different types of what we call it, sections where you can contribute as per your requirement, as per your free time, right. So we'll talk about this in the coming time. The way I was telling you about translation and image verification, right? So here you can find that the image is given. You need to identify whether the image is yes or no, or you can skip also, because as it mentioned that the same image is sent to different type of people, right? And whatever things are there, it depends on accuracy level, right? And then it reaches to the main database, right? Then there is another example of translation, that is handwriting recognition. We have this OCR in English, but unfortunately this is not there in Gujarati. But if we start doing this in that way, time can be there where we can have more Gujarati or regional languages can be there for this. And then we can, this is validation. Third is related to translation. So you can add translation, you can go for a different type of segments. Okay. So here is an example of translation validation. So you are given translation, so you need to say, just click yes or no, right or wrong. So once you do that, the job is done. This one contribution is considered. If you reach to more than 10,000 contributions, right, based on your accuracy, you can reach to the next level. The same way you can find different image capture. For example, if you find something new, something novel around you, you can click. For example, temple. You can find temple around us, but the people in the West, they don't find such kind of temples. You click the picture of temple and share, because when we talk about temple, we always think about different types of temples, but the people do not think about small temples. So here we can definitely go for it. Right. Okay. So we are helping to make the difference, right? This is different types of recognitions that we find. Definitely, Google will surprise you with the freebies and certain goodies that they keep on sending you people. But the main thing is that we do not expect, without expectations we share, because we know that we or the people around us will need this. That's why we need to contribute. Same is the case with Google Maps. You can also contribute in terms of sharing your details with Google Maps. Whenever you location is on, you will find that Google is sharing details, right? So even you can make Google better, so that it can help you in a better way. If you look at this, line, open images extended, 480K images of everyday objects, and people released as an open data set in 1980. Just imagine that when people start sharing, right, whatever things around them, it would be easier for everyone to reach to the place that they want to. And this would be easier for anybody to identify or to search any object, because whenever we search any image that has been uploaded shared by somebody else from the other end, that's why we can see that. This is a community. We get an opportunity to interact with lots of type of people. The main thing is that these people are of similar mindset. These people are of similar passion, right? They have got one thing common to help, right? So when I was interacting with people at Google at California, they asked me that why do you want to join Google? I said it's like happy to help, because when I help somebody, I get helped. So I quoted there one beautiful sentence which was cited in Times of India when Bill Clinton was president, and after his presidentship, one article was published, and the last paragraph was mentioning that at the end of 5 years of presidentship, I could come to know about one thing, that we all are interdependent. That is, we require somebody and we are required by somebody. It's a fact of life that nobody can deny. So it is like we all are interdependent, right? So when we are interdependent, we can definitely collaborate and we can definitely win the battle, whatever it is, right? In that way. So it's about community building, and as we people are there, we're connected with one community called Google Educators Group. So I don't need to explain much about it. These are offline, what we call it, offline events. Because of COVID-19, we could not go for it. Google could not go for it. Otherwise, Google organized such kind of events in different countries, right? So there are images of Ukraine, Italy, Sri Lanka, Laos. You can find certain images that can see people are there. These are some of the feedback. Even you can find more from Play Store, what people have mentioned. I like the one, the first one, what Michael B has mentioned. My way of saying thanks to Google. This is what I was telling in the beginning of the session, that we never say thank you to Google, right? We are used to say okay Google, but time to say thank you Google, right? So this is one way we can definitely say something or reciprocate something in a way. These are the people, when you reach to a top level on their Facebook page, in their blog, on their website, they mention your image and your name, right? So people can see about it. They can recognize, they can appreciate, they can acknowledge your contribution to the world. This is the one I wanted to show you, that in countries like Bangladesh, the love for language runs deep. For example, for them, language is equal to national pride, right? The same thing I was talking to Vishalji, that why can't we do something about Gujarati and regional languages of India, right? So definitely we can think about it, so that people can search more in regional languages. We can start with Gujarati if we wish to, right? This is my next mission, to start with that. Whatever we know in terms of translation, in terms of translation validation, images, whatever is there in Gujarat, we want to highlight those things at global level, so that people, whatever or whenever they search about Gujarat, they can find all accurate things, updated things, right? So here, students in Bangladesh, they validate translation. They keep on helping their regional language to grow, and that is very patriotically, very rigorously. So that was an example. You just imagine that Google has recognized this at at global level, and they have mentioned this in this presentation. That makes lots of difference. Here you can find lots of things. So here, local influencers, like people like us, they can definitely make a difference. So it is our our call to say thank you to Google, in a way we can say. What you can do is, you can download from Play Store. You can go to crowdsource.google.com, and you can find the application, and you can start working. This is the way you can find more about Google Crowdsource. You can go to crowdsource.google.com/about. You can find different things, right? Even you can find Facebook pages, or if you search hashtag Google Crowdsource, even you can find lots of details about it. So as a teacher, as a a passionate teacher, rather, as a human being, I believe that when we are getting something, when we're expecting something, it's our duty to reciprocate the same thing, right? So that we can get it in a better way. This is what I wanted to tell you. I guess the 40 minutes what I proposed comes to an end. Now, whatever questions, queries you have, people, the community have, I can answer those things.
Brilliant, sir. Many thanks for explaining us this particular topic. And this is indeed much learning to us. And the very first thing we learned, I wish all would agree to this, is this is very easy. This is not at all difficult. This is something you can do in a regular way.
Yes,
and
sir.
Reaching a level is a byproduct of it. And I think this is, as you mentioned here, is a way of contributing to the community back.
Right.
But I think people here are a little skeptical. I would include myself in that as well. That they keep their location histories off. They avoid recommending any product or any brand. They avoid commenting on particular topics. Maybe either due to lack of knowledge or being insecure of exposed to particular data or particular kind of data feeding. So, sir, is crowdsourcing a secured thing? If you are just sharing something about the location, if you're giving your opinion as a location, then does it mean that you have visited the location, and do they keep the location history there?
Sir, I tell you one thing, that if you look at whether your location is off or not, right? It is captured by Google. That's for sure, right?
Naturally,
Google does not tell you that you share where you visited, right? Google asks you that you visited this place, and Google will ask you whether the wheelchair is available or not. Where whether you can find such kind of food, such kind of dish is not. Whether veg food or non-veg food is offered or not.
Right.
Does this place accept credit card or cash payment only?
Right.
This place is safe place for kids to go or not. Getting. So if we feed the data, definitely when we go for any other unknown place, we search these kind of things.
Right.
So naturally, when we feed, right, in that way somebody will get it. So definitely when somebody has fed things, we'll get it. So it's like that.
Great. So I would just have a technical question. That say in the mobile phone we have many IDs fed in. Right, and we have many Gmails working. Maybe I'm working with multiple email IDs. So, say for example, if I don't wish to have this crowdsource application being used by my main ID, but I would wish to get it used by my work ID, is it possible in that way?
Yes, sir. I use with my work ID. It's nothing to do with. You see, you are not going to integrate your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, or your bank details with this. Right? You're not going to get anything. So irrespective of any email ID, right? Email ID is something you can measure your level, your contribution, right? And accuracy. That's right. For example, I by mistake I started using 2 email IDs, right, for contribution. So I'm using both in a way.
Okay.
So it does not make any difference in a way.
I would like to ask is that what are the different levels actually? If you see, you said there are 8 levels. How does it start? Where does it reach?
It starts with level 1 to 18 levels.
Okay.
1 8 18.
1 8 18 levels. So as an influence, you are at what level?
I'm at level 12.
Level 12. And how long does it take one to reach there?
Thanks to this lockdown, I could do it in 2 months' time.
Okay, great. So, there should be some milestone in it that you need to have this kind of contributions done.
Yes, sir. So there are image verification, image level verification, translation validation, handwriting recognition, and that too in multiple languages. For example, if you wish to go for Hindi, you can go for Hindi, you can go for Gujarati, you can go for English, right? Okay. In terms of translation, in terms of, and I tell you that, sir, the byproduct of this, as a teacher, as a researcher, I could find that I used to record whatever I do in terms of contribution. So I could find that there are certain things which are very common, right, which are misspelled or which are not what we call not recognized by the machine. I could find that there are most common mistakes of translation English to Gujarati or Gujarati to English. So whenever I go to class and I explain to students, I can tell them that this is the data, because I have gone through the 10,000 different types of sentences, phrases, words. So I know that, okay, these are the most common things. So I understand that. And I also explain my students that if you consider this kind of things, definitely you can be a good communicator. And so most very big advantage, I tell you, that Google keep on organizing offline such kind of gatherings.
Okay.
And Google invites people from different levels. For example, I was asked that if there is no problem with COVID, right, by the end of March or April, right, there is one function in Indonesia, I may be invited there.
Okay.
So the exposure that we get, right, that would be quite different. And the people, when you talk with the people or different kind of people, your communication skills is going to be improved like anything.
Okay, that's great to learn.
Yeah, Dr.
Yes,
Varia, can I ask something?
yes, please, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Deepak, this was a wonderful, wonderful session. I really did not know about this, and I'm really intrigued, really intrigued. And this is going to be the first thing I'm going to find more about tomorrow. So is Dr. Varia going to be? He looks very excited. So, do you find a place where you can meet the like-minded people also in the crowdsourcing, like similar interests, maybe, a similar,
Yes.
Yes.
So one thing is that there are different Google groups, or there are Facebook groups where people can meet. For example, I'm planning to create a one for us, right? For example, Google India, Google Crowd India, or Google Crowd Gujarat type of thing.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly. This was my point. Is there any place where contributors from India meet, or is there any place from one state meets? For example, if I am from a certain state, I would like to get connected with people from that state to see what kind of work they are doing and what kind of contribution, because I am going to be new to it, so I wouldn't know what to contribute. So that way I was asking. Okay.
Madam, it's very easy. You go to Facebook, go to Twitter, you go to Instagram, and you search Google Crowd and your name of your state. For example, if you're from Punjab, I guess, right? You write Google Crowd Punjab.
For example. I'm only Punjabi. yeah. For example, yes. Please carry on.
For example, like Gujarat, if you want to find out, in Gujarat there is no such group. That's why I took example of Punjab or Haryana, or we can say Andhra Pradesh, right? So you write Google Crowdsource Andhra Pradesh, you will find such kind of group. It is there, and you can join that group and you can go for it. There are lots of global groups. Right? They will start inviting, and you can join them, and you will find people interacting with you.
Right. And like, for example, there are many novels, many articles, many beautiful things in Punjabi which are not reaching people really. So if I translate a book along with somebody else or whatever, I do it, I translate an article, I translate a book, I wish to do that. So are they going to publish that? Are they going to take it as a contribution? Like, they will give me a name that, okay, this book was translated, and it is going to be distributed also along with?
No, ma'am, it's not like that. Google has got his own database, and Google will send you data randomly from the database. You can do either one thing, you can translate whatever is there, right? And second thing, if you want to validate translation, you can validate it, right? Google will fetch data from its ways.
Okay, it is not pick and choose for us. It is what Google validates. Okay, all right, okay.
And the same thing, whatever you validate or translate, that will be sent to different people. And whatever is that, there is one word called upward, right? So when lots of people upvote it, right, that has been freezed, and that has been sent to the main database. So
I
this
see.
is the way how it works.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. That was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Indeed, a great session, sir. Today we came to know much thing about Google. We came to know much thing about crowdsourcing. Obviously, you are the mentor for teaching us crowdsourcing concept. And yes, I have already pasted the link for the feedback form. I know people have started leaving the meeting. It's time to conclude. But kindly just fill up the feedback form so that you can get your certificate of attendance with it. Yeah, and I would just like to be, and I'm glad to announce certain things today. Though we are missing Reshma because she has some internet issues. January is going to be a jam-packed session for GG Ahmedabad and GG Pune. We are having multiple sessions every week. This session is starting with 2021, the first session of crowdsourcing. We have next is Neopod with Murtaza. On January 10th, we are having teachers for teachers session in the morning, 10 a.m. IST. Then on 16th Saturday, we are having Google Slides with Slides Mania Creativity by Reshma. And on the 23rd, we are having Teacher Essentials Learning from Humera Riaz. On then Jan 30, we are having Word Cloud for language teachers. So we have got all the schedules ready with us. January is already packed, and we are looking for February for some multiple sessions to be conducted. So I keep connected, remain connected, attend the sessions and get updated yourself. Yeah, if anyone would like to contribute anything right now, we can talk and discuss, and rest we can then leave the meeting.
Disha madam has got a question, I guess. Disha madam raised hand.
Karthik has asked, can you give the schedule of the meetings? Yes, the meetings will generally be at 8 to 9 p.m. every Saturday. Okay, and we will be announcing those registration forms and those details at least 5 days earlier, so you people can register. So every week we'll be announcing weekly what is going to be there on the next Saturday. So I just announced it the prior that all the Saturdays are booked for January, and now we're also planning for setting up sessions for February. Yes, Sanjita ma'am will be definitely sharing the schedule. That's upcoming now. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Vaja, it was really nice to have you together with us. And yes, this is definitely a good session that we attended. Would you like to comment anything, sir? Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Varia, sir, for organizing such a wonderful session. And it was a pleasant experience to learn from a student like Dr. Deepak Mashru. Well done, Deepak Mashru. Keep
Great,
going.
sir. Yes. Three cheers for Deepak, sir. Yes, true.
Yes.
Indeed. Deepak sir has exposed us to Google, and he has made us realize that we are valuable to Google if we contribute back to Google in terms of AI, in terms of giving them information. So this is, thank you, Deepak sir, for getting this knowledge delivered to us, and we are sure that we shall be good contributors to Google. And yes, we should think of starting something like Crowdsourcing Gujarat or whatever. Be a mentor for us, and we are there with you.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir. So that's fine. We can come to today's session. I shall be sharing the recording with the audience later, and I shall be also updating with the YouTube channel. So thank you one and all for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, Deepak sir, for mentoring this session and giving us a lot of information. And thanks everyone for being present. So we are just closing the session. I'm just stopping the recording. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Welcome to the
Thank
session.
you, sir.
Right.
Sir, I would just like to know where will you share the upcoming schedule of the sessions?
Ma'am, we have our Facebook page, we have our Twitter handle, we have our WhatsApp group.
Okay, so you will be sharing it there only?
Yeah, we shall be sharing it all on all the media that we are present.
Fine. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
It
Thanks
was
for
a
joining.
nice session indeed. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.